Hello everybody, this is Fronito Bob and welcome to race number 31 of the 2020-21 NROL Skittles Cup Series season. This is the Coke 0400 at the Daytona International Speedway. Yep, we are back again. The series race Daytona second time, again under the lights, so yeah, thingy. So, yeah, back at Daytona. It's 4th of July race, and yeah. So, we are not too far away now from the playoffs. Still about 10 races left for this series, but, so question is, who is actually going to be able to make the playoff and who isn't going to make the playoffs? Well, we will get one step closer today, once again, by figuring out, the event of this race. So, with that being said, let's just give you the starting grid for this race. So in the pool for this one is Cole Custer, second is Tim Tom, third is Mac DiBenedetto, fourth is Gridron, fifth is Eric Jones, sixth is Cliff Boyer, seventh is Alex Bowman, eighth is Duck, ninth is William Byron, 10th is Russell David, 11th is Kurt Busch, 12th is Douglas, 13th is Perry Serp, 14th is Chrissy Bell, 15th is Nia, 16th is Rebecca, 17th is Rhea Swixner, 18th is Ryan Priest, 19th is Donald, 20th is Chase Elliott, 21st is Brad Keselowski, 22nd is Chris Buescher, 23rd is Danny Hamlin, 24th is Oliver, 25th is Kyle Busch, 26th is Kevin Harvick, 27th is Joe Logano, 28th is 2011, 29th is Matt Kenseth, 30th is Eric NROL, 31st is Tyler Reddick, 32nd is Ryan Blaney, 33rd is Ben Coach, 34th is Mark Truex Jr., 35th is Brian Newman, 36th is Jimmy Johnson, 37th is Ricky Sr., 38th is Austin Dillon, 39th is Bob Wallace, 40th is James 6, 41st is Quinn Huff, and 42nd is Ross Chastain. Yeah, Chastain back by the wheel number 77. Not a Ganassi powered car though. Yeah, so story behind Chastain is that, he did run 3 races this season with some technical stuff from Ganassi. However, Spire decided that they needed Ross Chastain back for a couple more races. Now, Chastain doesn't quite have, the Ganassi power that he had in the last few times, but I don't think he's going to let that slow him down, and he's just going to go for it today. And of course, a few drivers in patriotic special paint schemes, as this is the 4th of July weekend here at Daytona. This is the 4th of July race that goes back many years and is a long-standing tradition that in this series continues to this very day. So you may recognize a lot of these beautiful patriotic paintings from the Coke 600 some races back. Ultimately, though, it was the Green Machines that were going for the win. So let's see if someone can win this race driving red, white, and blue, and the stars and stripes of the United States of America. All that to find out today. But it's going to be Cole Custer and Tim Tom on the front row of this one. And we have the two slowest motorsports drivers who have been having trash seasons are the ones starting 2nd and 4th. So, they might do pretty well today. We shall see. Anyways, green flag is in the air for the Coke 0400 at Daytona. I'm not sure if the Coke 0400 or the Coke Zero Sugar 400, but it makes no difference. Cole Custer getting a bit of a jump here with Matt DiBenedetto helping him out, or at least he's trying to. Cole Custer doing pretty decent. I see on here in front. And Cole Custer hasn't been the best driver this season. Still looking for that first win. However, at least he's going to lead the opening lap here at Daytona to start this one. Cole Custer still in the lead now. He's got his Stewart, his teammate Clint Boyer just behind him. Not too far back behind them is Alex Bowman, who does have one win to his name this season. If he can get a second, however, in that beautiful looking Chevy Goods patriotic scheme today, that would be quite cool. Russell David once again off to a good start. You know, Russell David has had a consistent number of good starts to these races. You know, just last week at Chicagoland, he was running pretty well. At Indy, he was running pretty well up until he got crashed. And before that, he was doing pretty decent at Kentucky. So Russell Davis had a number of good runs recently. But still no victory. Although it would be quite cool if he could get his first W in the Cup Series in that very nice looking Veterans Unit Amtrak scheme. Now, of course, Savant Motorsports did run this scheme last year in the Siemens National Series. And they figured, why not bring it back for the Skittles Cup Series for this season? However, it might be a bit of a curse because, you know, Savant Motorsports hasn't been the best ever since, you know, the season came back from its spring break thingy from, you know, when we started out at Hillside. You know, we're 11 races since then now, and Savant Motorsports, they've been good, but they haven't been the best. Meanwhile, I've become a bit oblivious, but it's by all that's happening back here, Cole Custer has led the first 5 laps in this race. So, hey, Cole Custer off to a good start. Here comes Nia, however. What's this? The Soas Motorsports guys are looking good today. Well, maybe. Here comes Nia. Still looking for redemption after her gut-wrenching loss at Sandown. Well, hey, now he's got double for Soas Motorsports teammates to start this one. But Cole Custer's done a pretty good job at leading this race so far. 6 laps in, and he's led every single lap since the green flag until now. Well, he was out there for 6 laps, but now it is Eric Jones. Eric Jones, however, who has had a very good season. That must be top 5 in the point standings. And he's pretty likely to make the playoffs if he can still be consistent in the next 10 races. Well, here comes your points leader, Ryan Preece, who just won 2 times in 1 week at Kentucky and Chicago. Could he go 2 in a row at Chicago? I mean, at Daytona. Yeah. You know, well, maybe. But funny story, Hubert Lexpulse almost won yesterday's Siemens National Series race, and he was one of the drivers that won at Chicago. And now the caution, crashing has happened. There has been a crash in the back, but we're going to stick it to the front now, and Nia is going to win the race back to the line with Ryan Preece up there as well with a pretty good start. Okay, well, I'm not sure what happened to the crash, but it looks like a lot of good cars are still up here. Like both the Savant Motorsports cars made through that one, but we're going to have to actually see. But caution is out of Daytona. And you know, this is actually the last race of the season at Daytona. We've seen very few cautions here, at least here at the Super Bowl, here as a whole. In fact, fun enough, the only caution that we had in the entirety of Speed Weeks was at the very end of the Truck Series race. We've gone this much without caution, but a caution has come out in the Coke 0400. You heard the tires screeching, but of course didn't see the actual crash, so let's now go back and see what happened. Also, that means we're going to have some slow cars to deal with now, depending on which ones actually make it through the crash. But let's just see what happened, of course. Now, looks like it actually happened behind a lot of good cars, I think. Well, we're going to see. Actually happened pretty... Oh. Well, here you go. Okay, so I actually have him pretty far back in the field, behind a lot of the guys hoping to win this race, but it looks like, unfortunately, it was Chase Elliott getting involved into a crash. Got involved with Christopher Bell and Kurt Busch as well, who was in a bad spot at the bad time. And all three of these guys getting involved into the crash. Bank Coaches just barely makes it around Chase Elliott, but unfortunately takes out various drivers behind. So unfortunately, the guys who were up front are going to get through unscathed, but the drivers behind, who are not so lucky, are the ones that are going to get caught up. So you have Denny Hamlin getting involved into a bit of a domino effect here. Unfortunately, Ron Chastain has a very poor spot. Yeah, so you have Denny Hamlin getting crashed. He gets into Ross Chastain, Jimmy Johnson as well, and Quinn Half getting into it as well. And Denny Hamlin almost flipping. But number of cars having to go to pit road now. Chase on pit road. Well now, this changes everything. I know it's pretty early in the race to say that, but the thing is, now that we're gonna have some slow cars to deal with, it's gonna be like having Can't Drive still in here. Of course, Can't Drive doesn't race in the Cup Series anymore, but at these super speedways, if you have any slow cars, you're still gonna have a Can't Drive S situation. Now, of course, it's a super speedway, so none of the cars that are actually still going fast are gonna be pitting. The only guys pitting in this one are gonna be the cars that got damaged. Actually, having said that, even some of the cars that got damaged might not be pitting here. We'll see in a minute. So you're just gonna fast forward to get back to the bit, you know, where pit road or begins here. Okay, so all the cars who made it through unscathed are gonna get through. I say made it through unscathed, didn't really have any real challenges when the crash happened. So Chastain coming up pit road, Quinn Half, as expected. So Washington and Quinn Half now been pitted for crash damage. And having said that, we've actually lost a few cars now. Looks like Chase Elliott and Hamlin is. Yeah, so Jimmy Johnson, Kurt Busch, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, and Christopher Bell off to the garage. Meanwhile, Quinn Half trying to get back on his track already with a pretty slow car. They're just crawling. Oh, there we go. Quinn Half found it, and he is now off. And Ross Chastain grabbing the Melon Man brand car. Just slowly making his way back onto pit road. And there he goes. So I don't think anyone's actually going to lose a lap here. At least, not on this restart. Okay, so fast forward a bit more. So yes, the ones off now are Christopher Bell, Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, Kurt Busch, and Jimmy Johnson now out of this race. I'm not sure out permanently, but they might not be coming back. However, for Chastain and Quinn Half, despite getting involved in the accident, they are still in it, albeit with now bruised race cars. So definitely not going to be as fast as they were at the start of this race. So, lights are out on the pace car. So it is time to do some more battle. Let's fast forward a bit. Alright. And soon we will be racing again. So pace car about to pull off in a minute. Nia leads. And green flag back in the air Daytona. And they do seem a bit sluggish on the restart though. Alright, so for the guys still in it to win it, time to move. Alright, still picking up speed. The field just casually running single file. I don't think we're actually going to see any passing, though, until we get to the start here. Because here it takes a whole lot for these guys to get to speed. So Nia with the lead. And here we go. Phil going nuts. Not sure where to go. And Priest can go to the bottom lane away from Ryan Priest. And with that in mind, Priest going low. And now these Soa More Sports boys trying to help out Nia. You know, Priest, he's got a couple wins. Tim Tom, he's having a bad season, but he at least does have one win. And funnily enough, it was Tim Tom who wound up winning at Sandown after Nia blew it with 2 laps to go. And ever since that race at Sandown, Nia's been trying to, you know, scratch the itch and win a race. Nearly 15 races later, and so far, she hasn't really come close to winning. However, Nia with trying to do the same thing that Cole Custer did earlier and lead a lot of laps at the start. And Nia has her teammate behind her. So if Tim Tom can just work with Nia, at least we should be able to work with like 2 peas in a pod. But as we know, even teammates don't really work well together. Oh, here we go. Oh, Tim Tom trying to shut the door on Magda Benedetto, but couldn't get down there in time. And it's now Percy Serp, who's just behind Magda Benedetto trying to get to him. A lot of Fords up here, actually. Yeah, lots of Fords. You know, last time we were at Daytona in the series, it was the Daytona 500 where RCR finished 1-2. So I mean, we could see a crazy finish in what is the less important event than Daytona 500, but still gotta try. Well, of course, this race did provide a very iconic moment way back in 2001. Dale Jr. wins at the place where his dad passed back in February of that year. Very well-known story. So could we see an iconic moment today? Well, possibly. But Percy though gonna go below Nia. Nia, who led the first 5 laps of the race, gonna surrender here and go to the bottom lane. And by the way, if I don't sound very excited in this, it's because despite how much is happening, none of this really matters until we get to near the end of the race. Because the thing is, you know, these super speedways are so insane that you just don't know what's going to happen until the very end of the race. You know, Tyler Reddick, his win just seemingly came out of nowhere. What came even more out of nowhere was the fact that his teammate finished runner-up. I mean, you can't script that. As the gun goes to the lead, and Eric NROL trying to go there as well. He's got to win the season, but that came a long time ago. But here is Russell David, who just yesterday was running up front until a broken can't drive caused quite a bit of confusion, delay. But at this point, you know, the Siemens Nationals race, it's who cares at this point. And then, honestly, yeah, Russell David doesn't really need to care that much about the Siemens Nash Series because, you know, he doesn't earn any points in that. Whereas in the Cup Series, this is where it all matters. And here comes Ryan Blaney, followed up by Martin Truex Jr. Truex a couple weeks ago won Indy. And was also the points leader for a race. Of course, now I'm going to take a back seat to Ryan Preece once again, but yeah. Hey, if Preece doesn't finish very well in this race, we could begin to see a back and forth battle for the regular season champion between Truex and Preece. Because for a long time, you know, the points lead was dominated by the guy that I have the camera center right now, of Ryan Blaney. He led the points for quite a long time, but then he had 2 bad races in a row, and it closed the championship battle right up. And now it's been between Martin Truex Jr. and Ryan Preece. So for Ryan Blaney, he's still out of the playoffs. He still has a comfortable gap above the playoff cut line, but he's going to have to do a bit better if he wants to score some extra points. Now, he does have 3 wins in the season, which came quite a while ago, but those 3 wins will count towards extra points in the playoffs. Really enough, though, all of Ryan Blaney's wins this season came before the turn of the year. Like, back when it was still 2020, he got 3 wins. But now that's 2021. So far, no wins. Although, he is running up here, so he could be looking for his first in a while. And here comes Tyler Reddick, your winner from the Daytona 500. Driving a camo paint scheme. I quite like the camo car, actually. Now he is challenging for the lead. Let's come board, gonna get stuck high here. And Tyler Reddick going for it on Martin Truex Jr. And here's Russell David back up here. And now top of the driver is actually running special paint schemes for this race. And there goes Tyler Reddick beneath Martin Truex Jr. And Russell David falling behind in second. Well, you may have heard it in the distance. We are not too far away from lap traffic. And by lap traffic, I mean Quinn Half. Now, he may not be the slowest running driver, but we'll see how he impacts this race once we catch up to him. In the meantime, though, Tyler Reddick to the lead. He's on the high line, though. Most David will do a pretty good job of sticking with him. So a couple rookies working together. That being said, these two have had some fairly different seasons. You got Tyler Reddick with 4 wins, including the Daytona 500. Russell David, however, 0 wins. Now here is Quinn Half. And the driver on the bottom line going to immediately scramble around him, taking no chances. And Quinn Half not sure where to go here while letting these guys by. Also into the bottom lane now, getting ahead. And Martin Truex Jr., who a second ago was up in front, he is now falling back quite a bit. And ultimately it was the bottom lane that got by pretty quickly. And here goes Russell David underneath Tyler Reddick. Russell David driving that very nice paint scheme up into first. Let's see if Russell David is able to hold off the guys behind him and lead a lap here. I'm sure Amtrak and the fans will be very happy about that one, but he's got to hold off Ryan McDonough, who's likely going to go beneath him. Going to turn 3. Yep. I shouldn't talk. I mean, it's the commentator's job to talk over the race, but sometimes I say, oh, it would be nice if this happened. That doesn't happen. And instead, it's going to go to Matt DiBenedetto, who's revving a plain Jane Menards paint scheme. But here comes Ryan Preece. You know, it was a bit weird though how Quinal or Can't Drive just randomly blew up in the race yesterday. I hope the same doesn't happen today, although I could. I mean, you know, Can't Drive's car, it seemed like that car was in perfectly good condition. It was in perfectly good condition before it blew up, whereas you now have Ross Chastain and Quinn Alf who have a bit of damage. By the way, yes, Quinn Alf is back on the track, but looks like the 5 guys that ultimately had to leave the race just not coming back. He was stuck to second, but Russell David running back below there, and now the field behind starting to catch up as well. Matt Kenseth, Tim Tom, and getting into the fight. Can you say Matt Kenseth has also had a number of good runs recently? Yeah. He's now in his 11th race, running with Chip Ganassi Racing. He's done pretty good. And they go 3 wide for second as Tyler Reddick goes all the way to the bottom lane. Very dangerous stuff here. Pretty good driving though. It's Tyler Reddick just getting right. Here comes Matt DiBenedetto. I mean, not Matt DiBenedetto. Well, Matt DiBenedetto is your leader, but we're now catching up to Ross Chastain, one of the other Brewers cars in this race. I think we're gonna hold up these guys up for a bit. Oh, not Matt DiBenedetto. Okay. Oh, Matt DiBenedetto almost got around him. Still trying to. There's Matt DiBenedetto to the inside line. Yeah, trying to go there as well. And Tim Tom kind of stuck behind. What is Chastain doing? He should be trying to let these guys go by. Instead, he's holding them up. Yeah, Russell David gonna lose a number of spots. Oops. Okay, well the front wheel has gone back together a bit more though. So less than 20 laps to go. Chastain's still holding up the guys. And now he's holding up Preece and Russell David. Okay, not anymore. Thank goodness for that. I'm surprised they called. Oh no, here they come. They're storming now. Here comes the guys who were separated due to Quinn Alf. They are flying and ready to get back into the action. With Chastain still a chance to get around. Meanwhile, Nia falling back a little bit. Here comes Cole Custer and Matt Kenseth off to second. Looks like the last drivers have gone around are watching, but funny enough, Chastain is now holding up the guys who just gone up to these guys. So, dang, any ground they could have made up, it's getting lost again. And only by a couple of drivers though. Drivers just slowly but surely getting around. Here goes Matt Kenseth. And Matt Kenseth going to the lead for the first time in the season at his tenure at Chip Ganassi Racing. driving the Clover car. And he's just gonna, well, not just, but he's gonna lead a lap. First time he's actually led a lap in his tenure thingy. Ooh, Brad Keselowski's gone around Ross Chastain, so he's now one with this pack. We're actually not too far from the end of this race. So it's time. And here goes Cole Custer around Matt Kenseth. And Ryan Preece, he's thinking about it. And Preece to the bottom lane. Now, just yesterday, Uber Lexpulse, you know, he won in Chicago, and he came runner-up in the following race here at Daytona. Could the same thing happen to Ryan Preece? Or is he going to be victorious for the third time this season? I can't believe I'm saying that already. I mean, Ryan Preece, he went all these races without winning a race, and now suddenly he's knocking them off left and right. Looking to go 3 in a row. And of course now, you know, first couple wins came in the same week. Now we've had a couple weeks off. We've had a week off. Now Preece, he's actually not much of a stranger here at Daytona though. He actually won in his duel. You know, before the Daytona 500. He won his duel. So, he can win at Daytona. He just has to win when it really matters. Because now he did score 10 bonus points from his dual win. But if he could win an actual race, he would get a whole 50 points. Which would really help him out in the championship standings. Russell David. Very nice job by Russell David. He's in a much better spot than he was in the last race. And he's going to go with Doug to the inside line. And word of note, you might remember Russell David, he had a shot to win until late in the race when, of course, can't drive happened. But now, we are getting to the climax of the race. And Russell David is still in it to win it. He's had a number of good runs in the Cup Series recently. When will he translate one of those good runs to a win? Could we see that today? He's going to go below Cole Custer. A little early to do that. And here comes the YouTube Motorsports boys. How about that? The YouTube Motorsports boys have worked together to try to get to the front of this pack. But Russell David out in the front at the moment. And he's going to lead a lap. And here comes Rebecca, who's also had a few decent runs recently. But just behind her, the YouTube Motorsports boys are attempting to get up here. Bang Coaches, still looking for his first win of the season. The Ridley Xbox Nerd, not having a good point season. There goes Rebecca. Yep, it's too early to be in the lead though. So Russell David ultimately going to lose the lead here to Rebecca. Ten laps to go. Still a long way until we know who could actually win. Next in line is the YouTube Motorsports boys. And the Real Xbox Nerd is up first. Russell Davis stuck on the high line. Not ideal. It was in the very high line. Now they go 3 wide for 4th. With Tyler Reddick going all the way to the bottom lane. So John Doe couldn't quite sweep Daytona in the Team's Next Series. Could Reddick do so in the Cup Series? And actually would sweep a lot of Daytona. Winning the Clash, the Daytona 500, and maybe this. At the moment though, Rebecca has the lead. But how long can she keep it for? Oh, what's this? The YouTube Motorsports boys can't quite agree on something. Bang Coaches going below his own teammate. I can't believe Bang Coach hasn't won yet. I think Bang Coach only got 2 wins last season. But still, no wins this season. And the caution has come out! And once again, the field having a scramble. Oh, thankfully nobody's day is ruined. Thank goodness for that. But caution number 2 has come out in Daytona. Drivers had to scramble for a bit. Thank goodness nobody got caught up in that. And we had to get a caution this time. But this, again, changes everything. This time it's really going to matter. Because we're only going to have a few laps to go. So let's turn back time. You saw it briefly. But what actually brought this caution? Oh. Well. I don't know what to make of that one. Yeah, it's a lucky thing no one will caught up in that. So Stenhouse just spins all by himself. I thought for a moment, you know, we got involved with Queen Gal, but no. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. all on his own. Spin-gateisms? Yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting from that. I don't know. I think I'm starting to wonder, did Stenhouse do that on purpose to help out his teammate Ryan Preece or some of the Chevy guys? I mean, of all the guys getting support from Taban Motorsports, Stenhouse, he's at this point become the odd one out. He just can't drive it properly. So I guess now he's just the new competition caution. The new caution clock. And now competition cars are fine, but the caution clock, ooh, that was sausagey. But Stenhouse, is he trying to become the new ace car? Is he trying to do what? I don't know. But either way, that has just changed this race completely. Now, fortunately, nobody else got involved in that. Stenhouse the only one out in that accident. Well, the only one in that accident. He just spun himself. Well, I say he spun himself. I guess maybe there's also the possibility that something in his steering broke. And he just lost control of his car and just went to the outside. I don't know. I can't describe that one. That was honestly one of the most bizarre cautions I've ever seen. Just Stenhouse, all by himself, just drives into the wall. Like nothing. I don't know if he had a tire go down or his steering just broke. Or if he did that on purpose. I don't know. But to break the fourth wall, this is NR 2003, so even if it is, there's gonna be no, of course, there's gonna be no penalty from that. Well then, on that note, oh, so we have some lap cars up here. I just realized. Uh-oh. So lights out. So we're gonna have 4 laps to go. Oh no. Okay, good. All right, now good news. We're gonna have any cars up here because it's so late in the race. Alright, no, good. So we're not actually going to have any cars up here. That's good. And here comes Stenhouse. Okay. So, with that in mind, we're going to have 5 to go. Or no, 4 to go. So you've got Rebecca in front. And behind her, 2 YouTube Motorsports drivers and Tyler Reddick. And also teammate of Percy Serp. Now, a bit of a running thing now I've seen twice in this race is the leader leads the first few laps of the race. We only have 4 laps to go. Could Rebecca lead this field to the checkered flag and score her first career NROL Skills Cup Series win? Well, I found in the moment. Yes, could she get her first win, or could the win be stolen by one of the YouTube Motorsports boys? Could Tyler Reddick even go on and sweep Daytona? Well, we're about to find out. Green flag in the air with 4 laps to go at Daytona. Ooh, Percy probably going on a line. Ooh. Kevin Harvick going with him. And with that, he might have just ended Tyler Reddick's chance to win this race. Here we go, drivers getting pretty close to each other. And there we go, the YouTube Motorsports boy going pretty safe. Ooh, one of them goes, and the real Xboxer goes to the bottom lane. And Bank Coaches goes with him. And Percy sticking behind in 3rd. And the real Xbox Nerd leads with 3 laps to go. And Bank Coaches is right behind him. YouTube Poop Motorsports has not had a very good season. All they can do right now is win. But here they are on their way to winning today. But the bottom line, like a bit of speed, here comes Percy on the inside line. The two YouTube Poop Motorsports boys going down to drop to the bottom line, and they do. And, of course, Real Xbox Nerd looking for win number 2, but Bank Coach is looking for win number 1. These two might ditch each other on the final lap. We got a whole 2 laps to go. And there goes Bank Coaches, who's going to ditch his teammate. And is up to first. While that might be a gesture, these, YouTube Motorsports. Oh no, there goes Rickster right back around Bank Coaches. A switcheroo. You don't see that very often. But it's the real Xboxer back to the lead. And here comes Martin Truex Jr., who is now in a back and forth battle for the points lead with Ryan Preece. And white flag won't want to go at Daytona. And Martin Truex Jr. trying to put a special patriotic car in victory lane today. Oh man, it's tight though. And Brad Keselowski there as well, but the real Xbox Nerd now trying to hold them off. Man, it's going to come down to the wire. The real Xbox Nerd leads, but there is Martin Truex Jr. just behind him. Will Truex have enough speed? Well, it doesn't look like he will. And the real Xbox Nerd will get his 2nd win of the season here in the Coca-Cola. No, the Coke 0400 here at Daytona International Speedway. Man, the real Xbox Nerd, he's been in need of a good run. And I don't know if this win will help him propel himself into the playoffs. But even if it doesn't, at this point he just wants to win. Trix, though, was very close to putting a patriotic car in victory lane. But once again, not going to happen. And funny enough, in the first patriotic race special thing, the Coca-Cola 600, that race was won by Percy. This race has been won by Percy's YouTube Poop counterpart, as is the Xbox Nerd, who wins here at Daytona. And also, Chevy has had a pretty good win streak. Well, kind of, anyway. It was actually Zachary Fitzwater Sr. that won, last time, yesterday in a Ford. And although, weirdly enough, in the weekend that we celebrate America, specifically America's birthday, both the races have been won by foreign drivers. In the case of here, you have Australian driver Zachary Fitzwater Sr. and today British driver the Real Xbox Nerd winning here at Daytona. So, how you go? Rickson with the win with Mark Shachir coming in second, Brackers Ollie third, Bangkok's fourth, Nia fifth, Perry Serp sixth, Austin Dillon seventh, Rebecca eighth, Ryan Priest ninth, Kevin Novak 10th, Ryan Newman 11th, Russell Steve 12th, Tyler Ragg 13th, Chris Busher 14th, Cole Cousins 15th, William Byron 16th, Tim Tom 17th, Douglas 18th, Matt Kenton 19th, Doug 20th, Alex Bowman 21st, Kurt Bush 22nd, Matt Bell 23rd, Dangerous 24th, Donald 25th, Joe Legon 26th, Dritten 27th, Ryan Blaine 28th, Brian DeBob 29th, Bo Walls 30th, Eric Gunroll 31st, Clint Porter 32nd, Eric Jones 33rd, Oliver 34th, Ross 16th 35th, Quinn Elf 36th, Ricky Sells 37th, Chris Bell 38th, Danny Hamlin 39th, Chase Sawyer 4th, Kurt Busch 44th, and Jimmy Johnson 42nd in last. Well, that's it from Daytona, and that's it for this week. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in whatever I make next.